Yeah, it would be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give these to my friend, Mr. Peck. Mr. Peck has a pig.
Here, right?
But we're very glad you brought them and the cookies.
I'm
Very glad.
They're going in the car right now. The other one is underneath this. Quick. Zoe, have you too? Mr. Muskelly. That's our pig. You sure can. Mr. Piggy. No, he bought 2 boxes. He gave Lizzie one to share. Yeah. I'm going to take you to your car. Okay. There's your bag.
Shouldn't have to after 50-plus years.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. All the cookies been delivered?
All of them have, yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, that's fine. That's what it's
Kind of like here. Bye-bye. Take it like he's out. Hold on, take it like he's out. The way it was. That's the way it is. Yeah, that's I'm asking him. I'm asking him. I didn't know farmers in it anyway, you know. You don't want to talk about it.
So why have your taxes not gone down?
Mine is saying, well, you know why?
I'm kidding you on that.
You know why they're
I know why ours.
I won't be done in peace. I gotta get home.
Oh, you're not?
No, I gotta get myself ready for Thursday. I'll catch you next go round.
I've had one. We'll just have one
Just-
for him, that's all.
Any Di Sereno?
Yeah, probably not both.
Not both.
One or the other. Probably go with mine. Hey.
Could you hear
Oh,
that?
thank you. Yeah. That's right. I'm clicking right through those 40s pretty good now. I got one more. Somebody's birthday, isn't it? Scott today. Oh, was Jill? Yeah, Jill's was last time. Oh, so you get your pitching arm fixed? Hi, Bob. No, I thought I'd get out of my jeans for a little bit and try to be a little snazzy. Sometimes.
You better.
Better lay off for a minute.
Try and get shit done. I don't know what it'd be I could get drunk.
Oh, that's right. We can do it tonight. We can get you home afterwards.
Yeah. I'll let them know.
Yeah, we won't even charge you, but we're willing to pay to get you drunk.
There you go. Nice guys.
No, we haven't been there.
Somebody probably would buy it. You know, it's kind of scary how larger products. But buying a ham and cheese, a lot of it.
Up and down. You get one good year. You don't regret it. You can't beat it. It is just a good it's bad. But I don't go to the next year. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, but moving lights and moving stuff is like,
You're looking to be in very good shape now. Don't slow down.
Anyway, Randy's there. But because it's too down, you're so far down and
Time to play, okay?
I'd like to call the March board, I was going to say finance and rules, March board meeting to order. We will begin with the pledge and then the prayers.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America roll call of members.
Legislator Doldo. Reed. Johnson. Doctor. Maxon. Monticelli. Nabawatic. Jarrow. Drake. Peck. Fitzpatrick. Adsit. McBride. Gray.
Here. And Legislator Ferris is en route. Okay. Privilege of the floor. If anybody would like to address the board, please step forward, state your name and address, and keep it to 5 minutes or so.
I'm Cheryl Horton, Supervisor of the Town of Philadelphia, and I thank my legislator, Al Drake, for inviting me to be here tonight. I actually, what I have to share with you, he's going to hand out for me, and I appreciate that, Al. I think I've got them all here. Okay. There's a couple here I didn't, if you run out. While he's doing that, I'll share with you that I also serve on the New York State Association of Towns as a vice president. Just got back from New York City a couple of weeks ago from there. So the information that I'm sharing with you was kicked off at that time, and it wasn't until last week that I received the details that I have here to give you. I won't have time to go through all the details tonight, but I give them to you for your information, hoping that you will look at them and take them seriously. They're town information from the townships, but there's information out there for the counties also and for the cities. This was our Association of Towns research for what we're all facing together. And the other thing to let you know that the Association of Towns is working closely with the Association of Counties and the Conference of Mayors for the situations that we all find ourselves in local government. And I start off, you've got it on top, help. We need to help one another. Albany is crippling local government. A proposal in the governor's executive budget requiring counties to develop new voter-approved shared services property tax plans is just another continued assault on local governments. According to the New York State Association of Towns, instead of addressing the real problem, high property taxes continue to rise under the unfunded state mandates and cuts in aid to municipalities, better known as AIM, or the aid and incentives for municipalities. These are among the main factors for high property taxes across the state. Local governments alone have lost more than $860 million in unrestricted aid due to cuts in inflation since 2008. That's just townships, okay? Most of our local governments are already sharing multiple services with entities at every level. We all continue to look for creative ways to reduce costs to taxpayers without reducing services. You name it, we are sharing it, whether it be equipment or facilities or tasks or personnel or programs, among other things that are even listed here. Local governments are there when we need each other. The governor's countywide referendum is going against the grain of all levels of government, county, town, city, and villages. I'm asking you legislators to review the materials that I've given you, which relate to the 932 towns in New York State. Consider and research the same train of thought for the 57 counties. For the 62 cities or the 545 villages, the schools and the fire districts, all are dependent on the local taxpayer. The governor's property tax relief proposal, without state funding, mind you, requires counties to fund more government-efficient studies, which may result in loss of local services, impinging on home rule. The governor says seeks to withhold state aid from cities and towns and villages if county legislators do not include new county-wide shared service plans in county budgets. State aid revenue sharing is a proven tool to reduce property taxes. It should not be conditional on the implementing of yet another unfunded state mandate that tightens the stranglehold already on every one of us in public service, and more so on every taxpayer, of which we all are. Once again, I'm saying help. We need to have each other's back, and I believe we do, because Albany is deliberately crippling local governments. In the package, you will find where these statistics came from, or they're all listed in there, the things that I've really reduced to one page for you. And then I also put in just the town of Philadelphia, not all 22 towns, just the town of Philadelphia shared services that we do. Now, I also have, this afternoon I had the privilege of talking actually in New York City when I was there, and then a couple of times since to one of the county attorneys in St. Lawrence County. Know him well, know his family well, and we've talked about this. And he said, I would that you would go on the Association of Counties website and see what you can find there. He told me a few things, and so I just looked on. I've just got one thing that I want to share with you, but I encourage you to go on there. These associations are working and behind the scenes. Next week I go on Wednesday to Albany to lobby for these very things. And I know that the Association of Counties does, and the mayors, and I know the highway superintendents are down with their potato chips to try to get CHIPS funding right now and tomorrow. So, you know, we're all working together to try to increase the revenue that's coming back from the state into us. And last year, this is 2016 and 17 executive state budget and other items of concern for counties, which concerns you and what your association has done. Unfunded mandates. On your agenda today is a bill sponsored by Senator Griffo, Senate 2295, that will ban any and all unfunded mandates. This committee and the entire Senate passed this measure last year, and our entire membership appreciates the support that you have shown to your partners in county government. We ask you today to vote this bill out of your committee and ask you to encourage your leadership to bring not only bring it to the floor for a vote, but to insist that this legislation be included as part of the 2016-17 budget from the Senate. The reasons for this legislation cannot be understated. While the current legislature may be careful not to impose new costs on local governments, we cannot count on things that may happen in the future. If history is to be our guide, we must enact no new unfunded mandates legislation as soon as possible. This legislation will be essential to the long-term solvency of local governments, and it will be the key to ensuring most local governments stay within the property tax cap in the future. And I bring your attention, this was last year for the 16 and 17 budget that they're about to approve. And whether you caught it or not, the governor is planning to put on the ballot this fall a voter-approved resolution or mandate for counties to create these agreements with towns and villages and whomever, and towns, anyway, that I'm responsible for. Our AIM money will be dependent upon those contracts for new ideas for shared services. Anything that we've done previous to 5 years ago is not even going to be considered. And we are really trying to get them to, hey, take a look at what we do. That's why I gave you the list of what Philadelphia does. If you want any more information, just feel free to call me. I gave you my number there. I don't know if I have more for you, but maybe I can direct you to those that I work with. And I hope we can work together on this. I really do, because we're all affected. Very, very much so. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate that, and the work that you do.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Horton. Appreciate it, sharing that information with us. Anybody else like to address the board? Please step forward.
My name is Cindy Grant. I live at 12610 House Road in Clayton, and I dropped off the folders in front of you. And the back part with the wind turbines, this doesn't exist today, but this is what it could look like outside of DePaulville. So you'll see the old stone church there in DePaulville. I was tired of going around door to door explaining that they might be putting up 600-foot wind turbines, and people couldn't understand how stinking big that is. The Dulles State Office building is 11 stories, so this is how big it could be. And on the other side is an actual map that came from, well, call them Iberdrola, Avangrid, or Atlantic Wind. They're all the same company. They come from Spain. It's Iberdrola. They've handed out this map, and this is going to kind of be like one of those little quizzes. Can you find the St. Lawrence River on here? Okay? So the rapid increase in industrial wind projects within our town is alarming, and I appreciate the opportunity to share information about them with you. The original wind project, Maple Ridge, is situated in a very low populated area. Now there are many new projects on the horizon, including Horse Creek Wind Project, which is this one outside Clayton, Glue Wind Project, Mad River Wind Project, Deer River Wind Project, Roaring Brook Wind Project, Number 3 Wind Project, Copenhagen Wind Project, and Northridge Wind Project. Also, wind developer William Moore was featured in March of 2016 in a Watertown Daily Times article where he's quoted as saying he's working on a wind project that would span the towns of Henderson, Hounsfield, Adams, Rodman, Ellisburg, and Lorraine. Mr. Moore said that this wind project could become the largest wind energy facility in the eastern United States. And I've given you directions how to get to that. The Watertown Daily Times has done an excellent job. They actually have a site on their website where you can go to all their old articles. William Moore is also the original wind developer who started the Horse Creek Wind Project. The revised Horse Creek project is now planned to sprawl across Lyme, Brownsville, Clayton, and Orleans, almost a 12-mile by 5-mile area. The developer's own map shows that it will be a little more than 5 miles from the St. Lawrence River and overshadow the village of Chameau, the hamlet of DePaulville, the village of LaFargeville, and it will be only 7 miles from Fort Drum and the city of Watertown. Now, to give you a break, if you open up your folder, I gave you a map that I actually put the markings on because the developer purposely gave you that original map because it didn't show anything. And the reason I think you guys are going to find this interesting, did you know your Watertown International Airport, they didn't bother to put it on this front map, right? I dare you to find it. I marked it for you. It is within 5 miles of this industrial wind project. And they don't even really mention it. It should be on the map, right? That there's an international airport right there. And then if you look at the St. Lawrence River, have you ever seen a map where a river or a large body of water is not colored blue? Wonder why they did that. Also, they could have clearly marked all the important landmarks in our region so people could easily identify where this project will be located, but they chose not to. If you look at the legend on the right side of the page, you can see that the dark red outlined area is where Avangrid wants to install the industrial wind turbines. The dotted red line is the 5-mile study area to gauge distances for this project. I've also included maps for some of the other wind projects in our area. So if you want to review those projects, just Google their name with PSC on the other side of that. So you go like Horse Creek PSC and click, and that'll bring you right to the right site. When you review how many industrial wind projects are planned for our area, I hope you will decide to do your own research to see how devastating all these industrial wind projects could be for our area. I'm especially concerned because it could possibly cause Fort Drum to close if they do another round of base closing, or it could cause Fort Drum not to expand. Industrial wind turbines can interfere with the emergency radio system that your board has been working so hard on. They can also interfere with residents' TV and radio reception. There is a bill in Congress right now Republican Chris Collins of New York's 27th District has put forth. It's called H.R. 649. H.R. 649. It's Protection for Military Airfields from Wind Turbine Encroachment Act. This bill amends the Internal Revenue Code to make new wind facilities located within 50 miles of a military airfield ineligible for tax credits. So it won't stop a wind project, they just won't get all our tax money, okay? That's not a bad thing. So I hope this board would consider sending a letter to our Representative Elise Stefanik asking her to support this bill. I know she's a strong supporter of Fort Drum, and she needs to know how all these wind projects close to Fort Drum could be detrimental. Maybe you could send one to Donald Trump, too. I see on the Horse Creek PIP that the contact with Jefferson County is only being made with the Jefferson County Clerk, Ms. Meeks. I would respectfully request that your board's attorney or your county administrator could sign up for the party status for the wind projects for Horse Creek. I see that you're signed up for Galoo, but if you could do it for here too, then automatically everything's electronically sent to you so that you'll be in the loop. That just means that your board would be included in all correspondence and in the loop in these projects. And after you do your own research, I hope you might consider sending a letter to the Public Service Commission saying how these industrial wind turbine projects are not in the best interest of our county and our citizens, and how they could negatively affect our Fort Drum military base, our Watertown International Airport, and the countywide emergency radio broadcast system. My phone number information's there. I do parties also, so if anybody wants, I would be glad to come. I'll bring the food. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grant.
And also, we're in a fly zone here, so it'll kill all the birds. You can see all the green spots on those maps. Right on the south of this project is Perch River. It's got 7,862 acres. Why would you put a wind turbine right near a Perch River or anything like that? Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that'd like to address? Yes.
Chairman Gray, legislators, good evening. My name is Don Metzger. I think most of you know me. I've been here before over the last 10 years or so to speak about the commercial industrial wind projects, and I appreciate the ability to, the privilege to speak here tonight. I want to echo what Cindy Grant has said. Cindy's a very informed civilian on this subject, and I'm here as a civilian. I'm not representing anybody except myself and my wife, and I want to thank the legislature for their working on this topic over the years. It's been a learning process for all of us, and we were all together here when Richard Kessel, head of the New York State Power Authority, presented his GLOW project, and you people had the wisdom to say no. You people had the wisdom to send a resolution that said that commercial industrial wind projects should pay their full share of taxes. I thought that was a wonderful step, and all of us here, I feel, are becoming more and more informed all the time, as I have. It's been a learning process. I'm still fully employed. I'm 72. I'm not retired, so I have a full work plate to deal with. So coming here tonight and dealing with wind issues in addition to having a full-time job I take this issue seriously. I'm not home watching TV and being retired. So I want to restate Cindy's request that the legislature maybe write a resolution supporting H.R. 649, sponsored by Representative Chris Collins. I was in Congressman Elise Stefanik's office this morning to speak with her North Country liaison about this very topic. And we have Fort Drum, which is right here, going to be surrounded by turbines. We have the Watertown International Airport. Jefferson County is surrounded by 3 other counties: Lewis County, St. Lawrence County, and Oswego County. All 3 of those counties, including our county, have proposed projects on the books, commercial industrial wind projects. And I'm not talking about the puny turbines that are on Wolf Island outside my office at Cape Vincent, or the puny turbines on top of Tug Hill. Those turbines are old technology. What's coming down the pike, what's proposed for northern New York, are turbines like you've never seen before. It will make the turbines on Tug Hill look like the little pinwheels that we all had as kids, and we'd attach to our bikes, and they'd spin when we rode down the sidewalk. The project for the South Shore of Lake Ontario, which hasn't been mentioned tonight, those turbines might be as high as 621 feet high. By comparison, the height of the turbines on Tug Hill are only 397 feet. That's old technology. Those are your father's turbines. What's coming is truly amazing. 8 projects. I said here 10 years ago, I said, wind turbines coming to a town near you. Check your local listings. Well, I checked my local listings the other day, the Watertown Daily Times, and this is what I found. Advertisements for the public information programs put on by Iberdrola, the big Spanish conglomerate, for, as we speak right now, in Hopkinton, in St. Lawrence County, we've got the North Ridge open house going on right now. And we have tomorrow night, you're all welcome to go to it, it's open to the public. Tomorrow night we have in Redfield, in Oswego County, a program on the Med River Wind Farm open house. And then Thursday night of this week, you can be busy all week long, we have the open house by Iberdrola for the Deer River Wind Farm open public house in Barnes Corners, the Pinckney Town Hall in Barnes Corners in Lewis County. I've been to a lot of these open houses. They're dog and pony shows. I'm a professional mariner. I've been reading charts and maps my whole life. I don't need glasses. I don't use glasses. I have 20/20 vision. I look at the maps, or charts as we say in the marine industry, of what these shysters propose for these different areas. I'll retract that word shyster. I'm sorry. What these companies, foreign and domestic, propose for northern New York. They are very vague. They are very nebulous. When you go there as a concerned citizen, as a taxpayer, as a resident, and you want to go to a public information program and you ask questions of the so-called experts, they will be vague and nebulous. You look at their maps. I thought Cindy did an excellent job of showing how they don't show what they should be showing. And I'm always amazed at the dog and pony shows. So outside your lobby here, I picked up this, it says Thousand Islands. It was on the table outside there. Thousand Islands. If the turbines come in the numbers proposed and in the sizes proposed for all the areas around here, we will soon become known as the land of the 1,000 turbines, not the land of the 1,000 islands. And in the words of the developers, the turbines will become the most dominant, prominent feature on the landscape. Not the islands, it'll be the turbines. The Watertown Daily Times, your local listings, they have a wonderful web page that Cindy referred to. If you go to their website, rather, and go to the home page, page 1, home page, first page, slide down to the bottom, there's a special section that's called Northern New York Wind. And it chronicles all the articles for the entire past year that refer to commercial industrial wind in the North Country. I applaud I applaud this legislature for what they've been doing with commercial industrial wind, and I applaud our Watertown Daily Times. Nancy Matson, who used to sit over there and record fair and balanced reporting. Dan Flatley, sadly he's gone now. now Marcus Wolf is covering, and I think they've been pretty fair and balanced. And everything is right in here in the archives. It's easy to see. It's on page 1. I urge you to go take a look at it. The latest listing was about what's happening in Pinckney tonight, or Mad River. So, again, I say thank you for your work in this. It's been a learning process for all of us. We're continuing to learn, and I'm here to kind of help let you know that there are private citizens out there trying to stay ahead of the curve, and I'm a year-round resident here in Jefferson County. I'm 72 years old. I'm not planning to move to Florida. I'm planning to stay right here in Jefferson County where you can live, work, and be on vacation at the same time. And I'm just hoping that I don't have to be able to live, work, and be on vacation among 1,000 turbines. Thank you for the privilege of the floor, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Metziger. Anybody else like to address the board? Please step forward.
Good evening, y'all. My name is Yvonne Barr, 5404 Clark Point Road, Henderson, New York, 13650. I have, well, I don't know which way to start out. I have been volunteering for 25 years with the CAPC doing taxes. This year, we have the IRS has a new tax program, which is the tax layer. We no longer have the tax aid, which it's a whole new process, and we have fewer tax preparers working this year, so our days are cut down to 2 days a week. We generally accept everybody that comes through the door within the limits of their finances, $55,000 and under. However, this year being new, we have so many elderly people coming in just to file their state taxes to get the STAR program. And that is taking up at least an hour per person because we have to go through both the federal and the state just to print their state return for that. My question is exactly what is the assessor's job other than going around assessing? Isn't there some way that they can, I have a RP 467 for the New York State Department of Taxation. This is what it is, the blank. However, this one person that I am doing her taxes this year, she has filled these out before, and every year she has to fill out a new one, and I'm just wondering, isn't there some way, if she only has Social Security and a pension, to go to the assessor's office, had this filled out showing, rather than going through, she had previously gone through, shown her birth certificate, which should be on file. She has given her income. She has given all of her addresses, the property that she owns. She has filled out everything previously, and she's got to go through the whole thing again, which is taking her time. She's 93 years old. Isn't there some way the assessors can do the job of checking their income and their retirement and just filling this out for them, which would alleviate our time, which we would be, freeing up our time to help other people do their taxes? Is there any way that can be addressed?
Well, this is just for you to address the board. This is not a give and take. The privilege of the floor is not a give and take, but we will, taking your notes down, I would direct you, first of all, to the Office of Real Property for regulations on the STAR program. We do not have control of the assessors locally, but they do work with our Real Property Office. The Real Property Office can probably explain the parameters at best in terms of the STAR program. So I would direct you there. If you feel you need more information, or you may contact our main office here or myself, and we will help you get the answers further from there.
Okay. I just think it would help all of the senior citizens in the county if all they had to do was go to see their assessor, have him fill this out, and take care of it.
Sure. You have a town supervisor right there that has a little bit more control over the assessors than we do. She's sitting right in the front row. You may want to catch her afterwards.
Okay,
Just a friend-
I will do that.
Just a friendly connection here I'll make for you.
Okay, all right. And I thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to address the board? Hearing none, we'll close privilege of the floor. Mr. Hagman has told me he'd be happy to read the minutes of the last session if requested. But in the efficiency of making this meeting the most efficient, we will just ask you if you have any additions, deletions, or corrections. Hearing none, then they'll stand as presented. Presentation, petitions, notice, and communications, sir?
Staying with the theme of efficiency, we have none this evening.
There you go. He's right on cue. We like that. Report to standing committee.
We do have a report of the Finance and Rules Committee reporting favorably on resolutions 57, 59, 61, 62, and 69.
Thank you. Reports of county officers and others.
We have a report of the county treasurer on investments in cash on hand from last month. Also a report from the county administrator on budget transfers. And this month, we also have a report of the county auditor for erroneous assessments.
Okay. We will start with local laws, resolutions, and motions. Resolution number 53.
Requesting the introduction of legislation extending the authorization of a 1% increase in county sales and compensating use tax in Jefferson County.
Discussion? Yes. Mr. Maxson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that we heard from so many people tonight about this issue that may impact us one day, but that nobody came to talk to us about sales tax. And I find that, as somebody who voted against the sales tax increase 2 years ago, I find that so disheartening that they don't. So I remain in opposition to increasing sales tax, or keeping it, just because I know so many people rely on every penny in our county. But just wouldn't it be great if the people came to tell us that they cared?
In the meantime, you're doing a good job filling in for them. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? No. 2. Okay, resolution number 54.
Amending the 2017 county budget in relation to Samaritan Senior Village Incorporated.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Darrow?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick? Yes. Maxson?
Yes.
Ansett? Monticelli?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
McBride?
Yes.
Doldo?
Yes.
Drake?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nabawanik?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Reed? Oh, I'm sorry. Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 55.
Appointing members of the Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 56.
Setting time and place for public hearing on fact finders report.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 57.
Reappropriating funds from unspent U.S. DOT Small Air Service Development Marketing Grant relative to the Watertown International Airport, and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Legislator Drake? Fitzpatrick? Johnson?
Yes.
Maxson?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
McBride?
Yes.
Doldo?
Yes.
Reed? Nabawanik?
Yes.
Jarrow?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Ansett? Monticelli? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
58.
Authorizing an amendment to the agreement with Motorola Solutions Incorporated for the provision of maintenance and system upgrade services for the Jefferson County Emergency Management Radio System.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 59.
Authorizing implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of the transportation federal aid project and amending the 2017 county budget and capital plan in relation thereto.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Legislator Doldo?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Peck?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick? Nabawanik?
Yes.
Jerro?
Yes.
Monticelli?
Yes.
Adsett? Ferris?
Yes.
Maxon?
Yes.
McBride?
Yes.
Drake? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
60.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services in relation to the Aid to Defense program.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 61.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 62.
Reappropriating funds from various unspent grants relative to the Sheriff's Department and amending the 2017 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? Yes. Mr. Gerald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering what the two big line items there are. They're vague, obviously, technical equipment and communication maintenance. Do we have a brief description of what that actually is that we're spending that money on?
We'll get the answer for you. Offhand, I'm not sure, Pat, so we'll get the answers for you.
Further discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call vote.
Legislator Maxon? McBride? Reed? Monticelli? Doldo? Jerro? Peck? Adsett? Fitzpatrick? Drake? Ferris? Nabawanik? Johnson? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
63.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Unified Court System for cleaning and maintenance of court facilities.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 64.
Authorizing amended agreement for home health care services to public health in relation to the New York State Department of Health Workforce Development funding.
Discussion? None. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 65.
Authorizing agreements with area veterinarians for preparation of specimens for rabies. You've heard that before.
Discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 66.
Authorizing agreement with CKS Productions Incorporated, doing business as PPS Plus Software, relative to an OASIS auditing software program.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 67.
Amending the 2016 Comprehensive Planning Resource Allocation Agreement with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, and authorizing amended contractual youth program agreements in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 68.
Authorizing the 2017 Comprehensive Planning and Resource Allocation Agreement with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, and authorizing contractual youth program agreements.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 69.
Authorizing agreements and amending the 2017 county budget for the provision of respite services through the Office for the Aging.
Discussion? None? Roll call vote.
Legislator Monticelli? Drake? Fitzpatrick? Adsett? Jerro? McBride? Johnson? Peck? Maxon? Ferris? Doldo? Reed? Nabawanik? Brave.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That concludes the local laws, resolutions, and motions. Is there any unfinished business or new business to come? Yes, Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate everybody taking their time. It's good to see people participating in government, and as usual, really appreciate the windmill information. It's very helpful. I would like to, I guess, voice my dismay that the governor blankets all the counties and municipalities with one broad brush. We have painstakingly gone out of our way, and Cheryl's done a really good job of listing out a lot of the things that we do together. 7 or 8 years ago, some of us were on the snow plowing committee, and just to see if we all bought our own snow plows, $18 million project. I mean, we all work together. We in the towns, we don't have 20 snow plows. We use their snow plows. They don't have 10 bulldozers. We have a bulldozer that's used. We don't have an army of dump trucks. We use shared services to move materials to build our roads. So I think that we do, while there's always room for improvement, I think that we do a darn good job here in Jefferson County, and we don't need to babysit our people. They're out there looking out for each other every day for the taxpayer dollars. So while I do imagine there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of other municipalities that haven't tried, we have been doing it, and maybe some of the representatives should come up here and see how we do it, and maybe offer some suggestions to others, because we do a really decent job without a carrot dangled in front of us. We do it because it's the right thing to do. So appreciate you letting me get on my soapbox. Didn't bring up the unfunded mandates, but we know they're there. So thanks.
Oddly enough, they're being in communication with them frequently. They're still writing some of the legislation surrounding this concept, I guess you would call it, or proposal. They're still writing that piece that you may have seen where they're going to reimburse municipalities for the savings. One says savings, the other one says increased cost, depending upon who you talk to. They're talking about, and they called me a week ago, and they're talking about trying to empower, their words, not mine, empower county executives and county chairs to bring in, to have control over the mayors and the supervisors, to bring them in to talk about this. And I politely told them, I said, I'd rather go into the cage with the wolves at the zoo. And I said, at least my wife has a chance of getting a tax-deductible donation for my body. So I said, there is no way I'm in support of that. It was, right? So I'm telling you, they're still writing as we speak, and will be. And so the form of this, however it gets through the legislature, which is where it's got to be tweaked and turned and everything, is yet to be seen. But what they're thinking sometimes is beyond me. So, and it's at our expense. Like it'd be my hide. So, Mr. Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It baffles me to understand why leaders within Albany would even consider this kind of crap. Yeah, excuse me, but I retract that. That they would even consider this kind of very inadequate, uneducated, ridiculous proposal. That, to quite frankly say that, to tell you to try to wrangle in the local leaders like that, just in the same manner that the governor is trying to wrangle in everybody that is beneath him. It's just, so in response to that,
just in correction, if you're implying, I don't consider anybody beneath me. I mean, I consider them equals. I don't want that to be out there.
It's just
a matter of clarification.
Yeah. It's just a matter of terms. Is how it sounds like it's trying to be designed is the way that you just communicated, is to empower you to have some measure of leverage over those that we work with, which we do perceive as our equals as far as elected officials within our county. It's not the correct relationship. And I just don't understand, they're talking about the dialogue, they're talking about legislation. Why is nobody just saying to the governor, no, this is wrong, this should not even be considered? That's my point.
You can say that till you're relatively blue in the face to our governor, but that's okay. Go ahead, Mr. Maxson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I'd like to echo what my dear friend, colleague, Legislator Reed said. We do a great job. We've been doing this forever because we're kind of, in terms of the Albany power circle and where the money flows out of the city or whatever, we're kind of off the beaten path. So we work together because we like each other and because we have to because it's a really long winter. So we huddle together for warmth and to plow the roads. So I think it's very nice that the governor and our friends in Albany are encouraging us to find these cost savings. It's always nice to be reminded that we could do better. But I think, just like Phil said, let's bring them up and let's show them, look, this is what we've been doing for 50 years. This is what we've been doing. This is how it works, and this is the real savings to the taxpayers, especially since we are, the way that it sounds like it's designed, being penalized for having done it for the last decade, 2 or 3 or whatever. So I just wanted to echo what Phil said, and it is. I would like to think it is with all the best intent in the world that our governor wants us to do what's right for the taxpayers.
Just to clarify, because I want everybody to be on the same page. AIM is not, it's not a penalty in there. So just to clarify that, it is written in the same legislation, the same bill as this proposal is. So if that legislation went down as it's written, not passed, that means AIM goes away. Okay. It doesn't mean if we don't write the plan, and we don't submit it, if something in a different form goes through, it doesn't mean that AIM is taken away if we don't put a proposal forward. So I don't want you to think we're under the gun to act, because we're not. Not in terms of AIM, as far as that goes. It just happens to be that's how they're leveraging the rest of the bill. So in order to get some form or fashion of it passed. So it is not a penalty part of that bill. But anyhow. Anything else come before the board? Mr. Monticelli.
Thank you, Chairman Gray.
The voice of reason.
I'm not even going to touch the government. I was just a couple of visuals. When I saw this picture of the wind farm over to Polville and Ms. Grant's comments, I just thought a couple of visuals, and I don't know, maybe you've all would have already thought of this, and so I'm embarrassed to be redundant, but if you haven't, it might be worth hearing. A 600-foot tower is 6 of those state office buildings stacked one on top of the other. A 600-foot tower is half the distance height of the Empire State Building. A 600-foot tower is a tenth of Mount Marcy. I mean, these are high. And when I think of 1, I'm not too scared. 10, I'm not too scared. You see a picture like that, it's just daunting. And to think of them scattered around the North Country, so now that's my visual. And then the comment that I heard from my colleague, Legislator Johnson, regarding core power. This blasted things only work when the wind blows. And I went to the Article 10 siting, and they can pretty much put them where they want them. And so, I mean, we got dams where they put dams. We have nuclear power plants where they put nuclear power plants. I guess we have wind towers where they put wind towers. I mean, it's bigger than I can wrap my arms around or my mind around. But the thought of how high they are is daunting. Thank you.
Point well taken, Mr. Monticelli. Anybody else? Mr. Ferris?
No, I'm just going to mention where our summer place is in Henderson Harbor. I brought this up before, but for those who haven't heard this yet, we can see the wind towers on Wolf Island from our place in Henderson. So think about that, the way that, the way the crow flies. Well, we're down in Henderson, and we can watch those turbines right there, up on Wolf Island. Thank God.
Well, I was going to say the same thing she did about where my cottage is next to hers. No. I just wanted to bring up that piece of crap, that's all.
Anybody else? Mr. Hagman?
I have 1.5 items. The half is because one among us had a birthday last Thursday, and that would be Pat Jarrow. So happy birthday belated, Pat.
I'm not paying attention.
Yes. And then one among us, I believe, has a birthday today. Somebody that's sitting in the audience up front, and it's not me.
Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
Oh.
Washington, the White House. Hold on. The last time I saw something from you in Washington where you were standing at the Ford Theater saying it reminds me of me. I wasn't quite sure what the message was there, so I wanted to thank you, Mr. Ferris. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Hagman. Thank you all. I will. Anything else come before the board? Here? Hearing none. Motion to adjourn? Second? To get them, Maxim, Ferris, all in favor?
He's skiing all winter. He was going in.